Nice. So I know exactly how to do it, because if you do that, if you hit crown, you have like this duplication going on. You have like these leaders, and then it took like 10 months later, I was a black crown, and again 6 months later. So all in all, like 1.5 years later, I was an ambassador, and now I'm a black ambassador. And now, as an ambassador, you can't even stop it. Even if you want to, you can't. Okay, maybe you can, but if you don't do stupid stuff, you make the rank ups. So really, if you manage to go from director to crown and farther, if you do the right things, you can't stop this business anymore. And to do the right things, you can do it slow, or you can do it fast. And I'm a big fan of acting fast, thinking fast, doing fast decisions. And one guy on this call is he's amazing in acting quick. He's amazing in building teams. He's amazing in leading, and he's amazing in creating a culture of speed and urgency. And I'm super happy to have the chance to learn from him. And he's going to smack it up now. Mr. Marco Passanante, let us know how to do that.
Thank you, Stütler. Thank you so much. Great opening, and huge congratulations on your impressive ride up to Black Ambassador the last few years, coming in with no experience. And the topic today on bring a culture of urgency. I mean, you're amazing at that. You know how you lead with the drive and urgency with your team. So hats off for everything you guys have done. And for everybody here, and as Michael touched on, first thing he said, it's very hard to stop it once you hit ambassador and above if you have duplication. And it's so true. And that's why I want you to listen to me today, sitting here as a lead president. In the beginning, you're not as bad as they say, or not as bad as often you might think. But once you're a lead president, you won't be as good as they think as well. I can promise you that. I'm a lead president, and I'm probably not as good as you think. I'm very good at what I do. Yeah, I've done it for so many years, full-time 16 years, but I'm probably not as good as you think I am. I promise that. So to be really successful here, you don't have to be anything special. You just have to be more committed than most people. You have to be more consistent than most people. You have to be willing to do it the days you don't feel like doing it. And I have to say, one of the reasons why I've had the success I've had is I show up daily. I just show up and stick to the basics. I show up and I do what I need to do. And I think that mentality is something most of you here, if you ever had a job or have a job, you just show up, right? Monday morning, you wake up, hopefully you brush your teeth, maybe wash yourself, and then you go to work. It's not like you don't sit there, because often people in this business, they sit there and think, oh, do I feel like it today? I don't feel motivated today. But I mean, Monday morning, it's not like you sit there with a morning coffee and you're like, do I feel like going there today? Should I go or should I not go? No, I don't feel like it today. Maybe I shouldn't go. No, you wake up, you get going. Same when I played football, soccer. Every day, 6 o'clock, I had to be there. Gloves on the field, 6 o'clock. It was never about, oh, don't feel it. You just get it done. You show up and trust the process, stick to the process. And with that mindset, you can win here. That's why I say you don't have to be anything special as a person. And the good thing is, if you look at the Cinzino top leaders, people have the kind of lifestyle you want and the results you want, for really, most of them, they're nothing special. They were just willing to pay the price longer. Success is all about just deserving it long enough until you get it. So you sit there today, director or above, many of you. So how do I go to the next level? The topic today of creating a culture of urgency is one of the things I see teams who kind of get a little stagnant. where they miss the point mark often is because you will hear them often say, "Oh, Lisa, I don't find any hungry people. I don't find any committed people. I don't find anybody who are doing something. They sign up and then they disappear." But then we have to look back at often it's in our hands when we launched a new person. So if you look at a couple of things, what is our job if you want to be a top leader? Some of the core roles of that is what do we do? Sponsor somebody, recruit, launch, build a relationship with them, motivate and empowering them, and then equipping them with the skills and the mindset and helping them get that, right? So I'm going to touch on those points, a little more on those points, but everything today is around that. But it's about urgency around that. Because the key thing in your business, if you want to scale it, if you want to create a duplication or hit the higher ranks, the question is often, what happens when I'm not there? If you build all the business, this is a classic. My first build, when I went full-time 16 years ago, I built a team around me. Classic mistake. You build it around you. Then you're going to tie yourself. And then when you're not there, you start going backwards. But at some point, you have to get over yourself and realize it's not about me. It's about the team, it's about the people, it's about racing others and let the light shine on them. Because I want a business that grows even when I'm not there. If you want that as well, I think hopefully I can give you a couple of points today, because now you're director or above, at least directors on this call. When the credits goes up and the rank comes, at some point, if you don't raise the kind of leadership in your business, the volume will come down. Or maybe pure grit and you're great at doing the basics and that, but you cannot duplicate it. Yeah, you might hit director, because I think you can hit director and stay there, but pure grit and willpower and really keep hustling hard. But if you really want to hit much higher ranks than you are today, we have to look at that. How do we grow that leadership? One of the things is to create that, which we're talking about today, right? Culture of urgency. One of the things is to look at the launch. The communication in the launch. How are we communicating with the newest partner? If I sign up Christian today, my mindset is I have 7 to 10 days to create some kind of victory, to create some kind of movement, to raise their belief, to raise the energy and commitment. But often what people do, they sign up somebody and say, yeah, your kit arrives in 5 days, read a fast start or express start, which is a great educational tool. But if I sign up Christian today, he's not going to read anything before we take action. Remember, now I'm talking from somebody who wants to build a business. If you start a health expert to say, I only want to get customers, of course, I'm not trying to really push them down, in the system and that whole, I'm talking everybody else, which is 99% of the population anyway, right? So that's why I can talk to that person. So if I know the first week to 2 weeks, I will either make or break that commitment, hunger, urgency by how I communicate. So first clue in that, how are you communicating around the fast starts? I hear often people say to the new partner, yeah, so fast start here, 100, let's do that in 120 days. So because you have 120 days. When I start Christian today, we're not talking 100, I'm not talking 120 days, but I'm not saying he has to do it quicker. Remember here, it's a two-way communication. I'm not telling him anything that he needs to do before I know what he wants out of it. So I say, so Christian, would you like to make 2,500 euros your first 3 to 4 weeks in your business? And often they say, yeah, that would be awesome. Absolutely. Okay, this is what it would take. 210, 2 partners, 10 customer points. So 210, and we duplicate that, right? To get your 2 business partners, we need to talk to 10 potential business partners. So it's 10 meetings we need to do. To get 10 customers, probably 15 to 20 potential customers. We do that in group, either as Zoom, or if sign up my neighbor. I'll do it in their home with some friends, have a great time. But most often today, of course, with people in our cities, it's most often on Zoom. So 2, 3 customer presentations, and then I would do with Christian individual presentations for his potential business partners. Why would I do that? Again, the whole purpose is what happens when you're not there. Too often people just want to rely on videos, and then they wonder why there's no duplication 2 levels down. Because people have no skills, because you want to rely on that. I'm not relying on that. I think this is one of my secrets over the last 16 years, where I helped raise people from scratch, and I keep doing that still, people with no experience, and where it keeps growing year after year. Why? Because I want a trained team. I want that team that can do the basics. So you have to look at, if you look at yourself as me, Christian GmbH, or Christian LLC, a company, your own company, that the value of my company, me LLC, is in direct correlation to how many presenters do I have? How many people can launch the newest partner? How many did I have at the last annual event? How many tickets have you sold to the annual event in October? If you're not promoting that big time, I know my numbers. So you know, 570 people now in the team, because I look at it, I see who has promoted, I see who has bought, and see who of the top ranks have not bought, or this, that, because I want to create a culture of urgency. What is urgency? You can ask anybody working with me for a long time. I'm always the first one buying the tickets. I can log into back office in the top com. You can see it. I was not first this time, because at annual event, when they launched it, I had Richie next to me, and Richie said, I bought before you. And I was buying when he said it. So I was like number 3, but I bought it. They released it within 5-10 minutes. I have it. So I'm not promoting what I'm not doing. And I'm talking to you if you want to build new leaders. I know there's some people just want to recruit people with experience. Great. But the next wave, next 15 years doesn't come from that. Who's going to get the new generation? Hundreds of thousands of 18 years old in Europe every year. Probably, I don't know how many US. If there's 98,000 in Sweden with 10 million, probably 30 times that. I don't know, hundreds of thousands just in US, there's 18. So you look 18 to 25 years old, just in Europe, how many millions today are 18 to 25? Never heard about this industry. That's what you're sitting on. And when you understand that, you'll increase the urgency, because if you go out there and create some new leaders from scratch, start them with urgency, launch them, tell them what to do the basics with them, educate, create some presenters. You have to understand the power of what you're having. This is like, you imagine you're a personal trainer and you educate, you create personal trainers. This is what you're sitting on Cinzino. That's why take time with the newest partner. Do the basics with them. I will do with Christian everything I want him to do without me. So if I'm creating personal trainers, imagine a personal trainer, I'm Mitch Stüttler, and I imagine this metaphor. Imagine if I educate Stüttler as a personal trainer. In Cinzino's would be doing the basics and promoting events, all of this, share your story. So I do the personal training. I create a personal trainer out of him. And imagine if I had a little percentage every time Stüttler trains somebody. Imagine 1,000 personal trainers around the world at different gyms. Every day when they train somebody, you have a little kickback of that. That's what we have here. So when you understand the power of that, step 1 in that recruiting, you would recruit people. Because if you're in business, you should be recruiting. Every company is recruiting. Every sports team that are good wants to recruit the best talents. You always should have urgency around one thing as well. Who's next? Who's next? I'm always looking to myself. Marco, who have you recruited this year? Who's your class of 2025? I can go back in the enrollment incentive program. I can see my class of 2020. I can see my class of 2021. I can see my class of 2023. I can see my class of 2024. Where is my class of 2025? That's one of the biggest parts of how I can control my growth and make sure I'm creating business that is rock solid over the next decades. And if you do that, you're going to pass everybody. You're going to be 0.0001% among the top leaders. Not by being special, just by being more consistent in the basics. Somebody told me this 16 years ago. I believed it. I stick to it, and it works. So how are you launching them? So what do we do when we launch somebody? If you don't have a one-pager, I would recommend take the express start to get started and just extract the steps. So we do the same thing. We're not doing anything magic in our team. Well, we have 82,000 active customers now. It's just sticking to the basics. So you have the express start, fantastic book. Just take the get started steps, take them out, and just put them on a page. So when you start Christian today, you show him the one pager. Here's the steps. Boom, boom, boom. What is that? What do you want out of this? Great. Let's look at your time commitment. When next to your work? When next to your job? Next to family time. Can you put in? When do you want to do this business? Let's make a commitment now, make a plan. Next, let's do the list. Who's the first people you thought about if you were to start a business? Who cares about health? If your enroller teaches you something else, do what they teach. But I would say, Christian, I don't want to see you post anything online the next 90 days. Don't mention Zinzino online. Because we want to talk to the warm list first. Because the warm list, I know, we talk to 4 or 5, we'll have a partner. Online, he needs a couple of hundred to even get a partner. So it takes much more work, and many don't have that patience. So what do I want to do? I want to create a victory. I know if I invite with Christian, remember what I said. If I invite with Christian, I would invite with Christian. I would do the presentation for his business partner. And when Christian brings Julian, remember, I say to Christian, if Julian, your contact here, is interested or not, it doesn't matter. Christian, you just started a business. The whole purpose of the first meetings here is me educating you. It's okay if they're interested or not. So take away the pressure as well. Let's just have fun with it. And I tell them, hey, the first invitations, it's uncomfortable. You're going to be terrible. You're probably going to burn a couple of contacts. I did that. That's okay. So make it okay, because how do you get good at something? Only way to get good at something is to do it badly many times. So it's okay to be bad. So the launch is key. Urgency, another metaphor to help you create urgency is that time is ticking. New partner starts. Think about it as a tipping floor. They start sliding outwards. 1 week, 5 days, you haven't done anything, created anything, they're out. Game over. In too often. You've probably seen that. So if I know the time is ticking, I know I need to create some urgent action now. So we want to win time, right? We want to gain time. It's like kind of, if you played these video games in the past, you drove this car, I don't remember the name of it, but you have to pass the flag to gain new time. And the time went down. If you didn't pass the flag, that game over. The new partner is like that as well. So how do I win time? First invitations, presentations. Your first customer, boom, we hit the first flag. We gain another 2 weeks. New business partner, boom, another 2 weeks. Second business partner, boom, maybe get 5, 6 weeks when you have also 2 people that you know that started, especially if in the same city. Now we're committed to each other. Of course, on Zoom, if it's only on distance you're building, the stickability is not the same. Of course, you lose a little more people, a little slower, yes, but it can still be done 100%. But then you just need even more urgency, because there you need to create victors even quicker, because it's harder to build that the energy and that belief the same way. So the launch matters most. Remember that. Critical. And your job is to create presenters, create people who can launch people correctly. So that is what we do, right? We launch them correctly, book the first meetings, preferably directly. If Christian want to build a business, I'll have him call somebody right now in the onboarding meeting. Remember, Christian's first day at the job is right now. He just started. If you're not telling the people the next steps, if you're not telling people what to do, what will they do? Nada piñada in most cases. So you have to tell people what to do. It's like day one at the job. If Maria starts working at the local hotel tomorrow, imagine she started at the job. This is if you're not telling them what to do when they sign up as distributors with Zinzino. Maria comes day one at work. She walks in. They say, "Hey, Maria, day one era. Welcome. There's the desk over there. See you later." And they leave her. She's going to stand there like a deer in headlight. No clue what to do. And this is most often what I see when people say, "I cannot find committed people." If I would coach you individually and you say, "I can't find committed people. I signed up people last year, but nobody's doing anything. Nobody's this, nobody's that." What would I do? I would ask a question. Okay, Christian, tell me how you're launching people. Your last person you started, how did you launch them? Let's pretend I just started now. What would you do? And just by that doing the audit, I hear directly what's missing. But remember, the launch, simple steps. What do you want out of this? You want to earn 2,500 fast starts in 3 weeks or 5, 6 weeks? Many wouldn't do it within 4 weeks. Where are you, Christian? Of course, Imo. Okay, great. Break down the numbers, what we need to do. Talk about how to invite with them, present with them, teach them how to follow up, and then promote the next event. So it's as here, it's not rocket science, but again, when you're presenting, use the tools. So launch is fundamental. Then look at those 5 kind of roles as a top leader that I touched on first. Number one of the core roles as a leader, recruiting. So I touched on recruiting before. You should do it. Why? If you want a big business, I want to create width and depth. So build it wide and deep. Wide is, if you look at personally sponsored people, I want to have many personal sponsored people that are educated, become independent. Why do I want many? Because if you rely on 2, 3 people, anything can happen in life. And I don't want any of those lines, if you look at my enrollment lines, to be more than 20% of my income. I never want that. Can you get there eventually? Does it happen? Of course. Of course. But then I look at, okay, what am I sponsoring outside of that? So even if those other lines are growing, I make sure here I'm growing a couple lines outside of that, and I want to make up in percentage. That's how I can control, again, the kind of longevity where my future, I don't want to put the future of my family in the hands of 2, 3 people. Never. That's why I want to sponsor regularly and build it wide. In depth is, of course, I build them under each other. So I'm helping my people by sponsoring. Christian started, if I sponsor 3, 4 people on one side of Christian, now he's going to make much more money with less volume. So I'm also with urgency in my head, like I like Christian, high potential. I have now a couple of weeks on me to really create some victories. So when I sponsor somebody new, I want to sponsor some other people under them as quick as possible as well to create the victories, to have the volume go up quicker. Because I know if I do that, Christian will win so much quicker. So again, it goes back to who's next. I start Christian, who's next? Yeah, Christian is my next potential heir that I'm driving right now, but who's next in Christian's line? So I'm having this conversation with Christian. Again, back to urgency. So everything I do has some kind of urgency behind it, right? I launch him, I want to recruit somebody, I have urgency because if my business is growing with 3 of my lines quick, now I feel stressed because I create urgency around, I want to build it so they are not too much percentage of my income. So recruiting, and also you want to be the example for your team. Always in phase 1. I'm regularly invite, present, follow up, invite, present, follow up. Am I launching 3, 4 new partners right now? Maybe I'm not going to recruit for next 1 or 2 months because I need 4 lines chasing me. That's probably some of you haven't heard me train before. Okay, Marco, but if I work with many, when should I recruit again? Normal question I get often. I want 4 lines chasing me. So sponsor Jürgen, Maria, Lisa, and Julian. That's 4 different lines I sponsored. When I say I'm driving those lines, means I'm there daily. The problem goes to me. I'm the one educating creative presenters on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd level. Then Julian, all of a sudden, he's diamond. Problem in his line stops with him. He still uses me for coaching, for follow-up meetings. So he's a super prospect, high-level prospect. Every now and then use me. So I'm still involved in, like I'm working so many lines in my business where I'm every week in some coachings or something, but driving, I want 4 lines. So now when he takes this line away from me, Christian, now I want to replace him with somebody. So I'm working 4 lines where I'm really creating new leaders, presenters, and creating the right culture. So I want to recruit. Number 2 is the launching. We talked about the launch. Recruit. What do we do when we get them? We launch people. Schedule launch mean directly. Create fast activity around the fast starts. We track the progress together. I take responsibility of helping Christian win. Number 3, while we recruit, we launch them. Number 3 is building the relationships. Because if you're there, people generally feel your care. For example, if you work with Lisa and you know Lisa's daughter is going to play her first tennis match next weekend, write it down. Oh, Lisa's daughter is going to play her first tennis match. I put a reminder in my calendar. Now on Sunday, I just send her WhatsApp. Hey, Lisa, I know the daughter played her first tennis match today. How did it go? I was curious. Small stuff that changes everything because people feel you generally care. And relationships, remember, too often, as long as you're in a good company, which all are in the best company you could be in, so that's taken care of. So if you're in Zinzino, most often people will leave you, not the company, because people leave people, not the company, most often. If the company is a solid, you're all in Zinzino, so we have rock solid company. I said a month ago, first time in my whole career, I started 22 years ago, but been full time for 16 years. And I said first time 1 month ago, and I said about Zinzino, I said, this is probably the best timing the history of network marketing has ever seen, ever. Where this company is positioned, with the ownership you can get to create wealth, never been an opportunity like this. You go president, you go lead president, you get 200,000, 300,000, $500,000, 1-star global, and 1-star $1 million. So you could go out and get a couple of million of next 5, 6, 7 years. And then when the company goes towards 100 million active customers, 2015, there's never been an opportunity or timing like this for anybody to ever create that. And there is people out there. I mean, one I studied a lot is Dexter Yager. It was with a company, just so you know where you're sitting on if you don't know this industry in depth yet. He started with a company mid-60s. So if you're hesitating, do I dare to go all in here with Zinzino? Can this work on a decade's perspective? This man started mid-60s. He passed away 2013. He was full-time for 50 years. 50 years he was full-time. He passed away 12 years ago. His family today has a huge income for what he started creating 60 years ago. So you know what he's sitting on. Because 20 years from now, you're going to be one out of two. One going to say, I was there when Zinzino did 200 million a year. Look at them today, they're multiple billions of euros a year. Wow, I was there. I didn't. I procrastinated like always. I didn't take it serious. Oh, you're the other person. You know who the other person is? The other person doesn't even have to say anything. They don't even have to share their story because other people share the stories. Other people talk about them. Were they special? Nope. They were just average people with above average commitment, with above average consistency. Above average consistent effort over time is what gets you there. So recruit, launch, build relationships. And then at some point, if you help build big leaders, your job is just, it's just not to piss them off. If you hit a high rank and you have too big ego still, you're too much me. So it's better you just stay out of the way for some people. The job is just not to piss them off once you create, when you hit a very high rank. So if I have some leaders and I feel I'm very different than them, when they share their opinion, if they don't ask me, I'm not sharing my opinion. I'm just like, okay, I'm just not going to piss them off. And then number 4 is motivate and empower them. Share the vision of Zinzino, of your community, what you want to create. You share the vision. And nothing can inspire them more than the Zinzino vision, because Zinzino is changing global health. Then, of course, you share your vision with your community because people want to feel part of a smaller community. Once the company becomes a 2 million a year company, of course, can be very important that you have that community. And when you have a big team, you're going to have many small communities within your team. It's normal. It's going to happen. But make your leaders the stars. It's not about you, because you cannot scale it. You cannot hit millions of customers if you make it around you. To motivate and empower. How do I motivate and empower Christian when his first weeks? Best ways, events, or actually second best, because the first one comes through events as well, stories. If I sign up a new partner, I'm logging in and sharing people in my team's success journey. If I sign somebody and they're young, I'm showing a young ambassador in my team. Look at this guy, he was 21 when he started, and now he's ambassador. You're 22. If he did it, you can do it. I get somebody that's 70. I'm showing from UK, Sue, who's a director in that age. And look at Sue, she's a director. And I mean, she's in your age. I'm showing people they can relate to. So that's empower them and inspire them, motivate them what was possible. Of course, show them the promised land what's possible and show them how they can get there. And then 5 is equipping. That is helping equip them with what? The right mindset, number 1, through the books, through the events, through the stories. So equip them with the right mindset, skill sets by doing. So skill set, mindset, of course, showing them the strategies and the system. But it's around that, right? Equip them with that. Help them become better human beings. Help them become better. Many in business, this industry as well, every kind of business, too often people use people to build the business. For me, I use the business to build the people. And with that mindset, people are going to feel that you generally care. So equip them, teach them how to teach others, teach them how to be a little better in their self-talk, help them with communication skills. The best training is by doing. So I'm going to do the basics with you in the beginning to get those basic skills up and the confidence goes up, because every time I present for your prospect, I'm reselling you the business. I'm raising your belief. And you know what? Every time I do a presentation, I'm reselling myself on the business. Every time talk about this Enzino vision, I get inspired myself. I get reinvigorated. If I don't do a presentation for a couple of days, not having those conversations, I lose motivation still. So that's why consistency is the name of the game. So create a culture of urgency. A couple of keys to do that. How do I create a culture of urgency? 1, show them why this can be a tool for them to get what they want. People need to know what's in it for me. That's what I think about. What's in it for me? Yeah, great with Enzino vision. Inspiring, yes. Your team vision, yeah, great. But Christian just starts today. It's all about getting him committed by what? Showing him why he can get what he wants with Enzino as a tool. That's in psychology. Showing him how he can get where he wants. And then when we do that, the fast starts. Urgency and the fast starts. Urgency and the fast starts. And then I promote the next event, because nothing can help them raise the belief as quick as annual event. Nothing. Or a bigger international event. So that's fundamental. And then celebrate, recognize action as well. Christian did his first 4 invitations. Amazing, celebrate that, cheering on. We look at the activity, not results when you knew, because you're going to be bad. And then, of course, using campaigns, using assignments for them. Christian, when you invite your first 6 people, you do a free test or whatever. Come up with something. But urgency with clarity is what will create momentum. So last thoughts for you here. Action steps for you here, or things to do and analyze. 1, I want you to audit your last partner launches. Just think about, write down after this call, how did I launch the last partner? Because we need awareness. We need you to become competent and good at that, so you can create hungry people, so you can create people who stay committed longer. 2nd, make sure the team launching process is
Marco is gone, right? Or is my internet?
August.
Yes, he's gone.
Getting 5, 6. Can you hear me? Something happened.
Now you're back, Marco. We just lost you for a couple of seconds.
Okay.
Now you're
so
back.
I'm here. I'm back.
Yeah.
Key step. I want you that mindset leaving this call. Who's the class of 2025? Who did you sponsor this year? But more important, who are you going to sponsor now, July, August, to line up a couple of runners? You go into 1st of September with a nice run, September, October, November. And there, nothing will give your team so much energy as some new stories, showing what's possible. Create a story, sell the story, because that will raise the belief and hunger in your team so much. Who's the class of 2025? If somebody starts and they say, Mark, I want to go diamond in 3-4 months and no experience, they're hungry. Or you right now, you say, I'm director, but I'm only acting diamond. I'm so tired of being stuck at director for the last 2-3 years. You can recruit your way out of this level, because you have to look at your business. Look at as a spaceship. And we're going to Jupiter or Mars. You go to Mars with your rocket ship. What do you need? Strong engines. You have to look at this rocket ship. You need these engines, the boosters. Every new hungry, ambitious people you get into a business is a new booster on your rocket ship. Couple of strong boosters and we can get them much quicker. So the communication urgency, I have a system how we're going to get you to Mars quick. And it's 75, 15, 5. You start now with no experience, you want to 75, 15, 5. That's the numbers to get you there quick. Why? What do I mean with this? The 5, you need 5 hungry, ambitious people you launch correctly with urgency, ambitious, I want to create something. With 5 right people, you can move the world. How do I get my 5 committed? I need to sponsor 15 people on average, because 1 out of 3 I sponsor won't do anything. 1 out of 3, sometime maybe, who knows? 1 out of 3, if I know how to launch somebody, 1 out of 3, we're going to get launched correctly. But take action with urgency. If I, as a leader, launch them correctly. So 5, I want my 5, I need to sponsor my 15. How do I sponsor my 15? I need to meet and talk to, no matter online, offline, whatever, but that are qualified, invited with a business, 75 presentations on average to get my 15. I'll get 1 out of 5. That's why I work the list with Julian when he starts, because I know less meetings. People say, oh, online is quicker. Yeah. I don't know, because I have to do 10x more meetings for the same results. I'd rather just get somebody going here and meet them at the coffee place, bring me 10 people tomorrow, bam, 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 bam. And that energy and everything, gonna make him committed and get 10x quicker results. Yes, I work 99, unfortunately 99% on Zoom and online myself. So I'm not saying don't do that, because that's what I do, because I'm a global business but if you can have them in your city, congratulations. You have a pipeline there, business presentations, like I know the Swedish people here, you have a great pipeline here. Germany, some cities as well, and some teams has great pipeline. And that's going to help you, 1, win quicker, but also the stickability, to stay around the real community much longer. All the influencers, you're just posting products, selling products there, AI can do that. You're replaceable. But the glue, the community building, that relationship, the friendship, that's what I recommend still. That's why even some of the biggest experts in this industry, they say now offline is the new hot, because people want to be part of a community, and that's why we build the stickability. But still do online, of course, what you're doing, but don't forget to combine them if you can. That's what my recommendation. So who's next? Leaving here, you should be having urgent feeling in your body. Who's next? How do I go to next level? It's not about Lisa's not doing anything, they are not doing it. No. Who's next? Who's your class of 2025? Go get those 15. 75, if you present for 7 a week, personal, that's 10 weeks, and you lined up a monster new class. 7 a day in 10 days, you can do it. 1 a year, or one every half a year. Yes, it's going to take you 36 years to do it. That's why many people in this business, when you see many people in this business, they've been director for 8 years, yeah, the urgency is thereafter as well. They're contacting one person every quarter. So what you see people like Strickler has done, going to take you 18 years instead of 5 years or 4 years. A little more urgency and compress 35 years down to 3-4 years. So who's next? Who's your class of 2025? Let's go and win together, and let's take this ship, Cinzino ship, to the billions of euros together here. Thank you very much.